simple, like 10-minute one today. Almost like an infomercial on the direction because there's so much garbage going on. I just want to kind of touch it all. Just walk up to the garbage and touch it. So I think at this point we're going to have to go ahead and just figure out that the Democrats have lost their minds. And we're going to have to figure out a way to burn the party down and rebuild it. Or, the other option, which is make two parties. Because you obviously have two specific parties at this point. You've got the far left, who are literally just reaching as far left as humanly possible on a daily basis. And then you have the working class, helping hand, good guy kind of guys. I'm sure there's like 5 of those left somewhere. I haven't seen them in a minute, but let's go ahead and just assume there's still an ounce of good left in that party somewhere. And, it's going to have to either burn it down and start over and go back to a level-headed a bunch of people, or, like I said, split it up, make it two different parties, and they'll never have a chance of getting elected to certain offices. And that sounds drastic, and I know that a lot of people right now are thinking I'm a maniac. And I'm not saying, let me specify, I'm not saying to go out and support Republicans the next election, because we don't want them to get too big of a head. I want them to know that they're not, they haven't won the war, but they're going to win this battle, hopefully, because the left has gone so completely batshit crazy that we can't have them in power for a while until they learn their lesson. And here's some examples. I'm going to spit some easies out for you. First, they're pissed off that Donald Trump figured out the game. The game being the Electoral College. Now, when I looked at the Electoral College, I didn't think Trump had a chance, because I looked at it and I saw that there was plenty of, slots kind of allotted in the way that it all made up to where California still had plenty of, electors, I guess, and New York and, some other states that were obviously going to go left no matter what. And, you're getting all the media coverage, and they're making it sound like everything's going to be fine and she's going to win in a landslide. And what happened was he figured out that was the game, and that's how you had to win it. And then he won it. And now they're pissed off he won it. So they want to change the rules of the game afterwards. It's not going to work out for you. Let me specify. If you change the game, it doesn't mean the other guy's not going to figure it out and beat you at it. An example, and I might touch on this more times, because when Obama was in office and he was doing certain executive orders that I thought were overreaching, like I said, more libertarian, want smaller government, less intrusion, more freedom. So when I see, a president of either side overreaching and going and just, starting things by executive order, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that, because that means that nobody worked together on it. It's one-sided. It's his decision. Boom. There it is. And I told my, friends that were Obama supporters at the time, I said, this is overreaching, and you're not going to like it when the next president's a Republican and they're doing it, because they found out it's okay. Specifically said that, because that's a fact. And now Trump does things like that, and everyone's losing their damn minds. So let me tell you right now, changing the game on the Electoral College will bite you in the ass in the end. The same thing, as when Harry Reid, Democrat, made it to where you didn't have to have a supermajority or a 60-40 vote to let a Supreme Court nominee in. So, you don't need 60-40 anymore. If you have 53, that's a majority. And now we have 2 more Supreme Court justices that are conservative, or, more strict to what they're actually supposed to do and not legislating from the bench, which is what Democrats seem to like. They like to go in and change things the way they want it and get the judges to change things for them. If you look at the Ninth Circuit, you'll see that's what they do. So, once again, they changed the rules. It helped them for the time being. Now they're pissed off because he figured it out and he's doing it. I told you, don't do that. You know? Um, Another thing that they're trying that's also ridiculous right now is, trying to let in, you know, illegals like crazy. And all of the conservatives are saying, well, I think it's because, you know, um, they want them to vote for them. And you're saying, well, how do you know that, illegal aliens are going to vote for Democrats? Well, here's how you do it. They are also proposing at this exact moment that, I'm trying to remember who proposed what because there's so many ridiculous things. I believe it's Elizabeth Warren, or I'll scan a couple of things real quick and see if I can figure it out. But I heard specifically, no, Kristen Gillibrand, who's proposing that we give Social Security benefits to illegal aliens. Okay, that buys some votes. And we're going to give them, welfare and free health care. There's some more votes. And since they are actually in the country illegally, they can't pay taxes into those things. So therefore, they can come here illegally. They can get set up with some food stamps, EBT cards, free health care, and they can vote for people that will give them more of that stuff. Easy. Boom, there you go. Another thing is wanting to let 16-year-olds vote. They've already started trying to weaponize the youth. A couple of examples. You've got where Dianne Feinstein was mobbed by young people talking about their futures and climate change. You scare the children into believing climate change is an urgent necessity, and you end up with a bunch of motivated 14, 15, 16-year-olds who just want to go and strike, protest, go do something. They have no idea what they're doing. So they're already weaponizing them to do that kind of stuff and get in people's faces. So now they're going to do that. There was even like a strike day that they had. A bunch of kids were, children were encouraged to leave school and go and strike for the environment. So they're already trying to train these kids, brainwash them, get them out there, make them, climate warriors and so forth. And it's just ridiculous. They can't win with regular old Americans. They can no longer convince middle America that they're going to do anything they like. They're going farther to the left every day with letting illegal aliens in, with no litmus test whatsoever. I've got no problem with people from every country on the planet coming here. But you have to not be a jacked up criminal, not be a terrorist, not be a rapist, not be, smuggling drugs in. We can't let everybody in the same way we don't let strangers wander around our house when we're on vacation. Okay? It's not racist to say, I don't care if a bunch of Swedish people show up at the border and wander over with duffel bags. They need to stop and get checked. I don't care who it is. Germans. Canadians might start deciding to wander down. Who knows? I know the Canadians don't let people wander in. They do accept a lot of refugees, so they have fun pockets there. And that's just what I'm saying is, it's going to backfire on you, and it's going to mess up the country when it does it. So the uber left right now needs to stop. And the garbage about reparations, it's impossible to pay reparations at this particular time because everybody's mixed up, man. Everybody screwed everybody over the last 100 years. It's just another way to try to buy votes. And it's shameful and disgusting. Stop trying to change the game, change the rules, buy the votes. Come up with some things that actually make sense and stop pushing horse shit like socialism. It hasn't worked anywhere. And 3 years ago, Bernie Sanders, Philip Byrne, Venezuela's feeling the burn right now, brother, because you said that was an idealistic situation 3 years ago. Now their people are eating out of garbage cans, they are sleeping on the streets, and they are losing power all over the place. The socialist dictator that's in office was voted out. He doesn't want to leave. This is what you get. The problem with socialism is the only person it works out for is the socialist dictator. Time and time and time again. And that's the point. Now, I'm not going to say that Bernie and AOC, two of our strongest proponents of socialism, are looking to become evil. I always try to go with the thought process that you're either evil or ignorant when it comes to certain political viewpoints. So we're just going to say that they're ignorant at this point. And they're not evil. And they're not trying to control what we eat, drink, drive, think, hear, what we spend our money on, how much of it's taken from us. They're not trying to do that because they want to control us and be socialist dictators. I'm just going to say they're ignorant because every single time that people put socialism in a different place, I'm not talking about socialized healthcare in a capitalist country. That exists and is starting to sink now, I believe, in some of the Nordic countries. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm going to leave that one down for a second. I'm talking about all of this horseshit about giving people money each month. Here's your $1,000. I'm talking about taking money from the people that produce. I'm talking about 90% tax rates on businesses. Guess what? There are other countries that will not do that to them, and they will go there. And they will take their little party and their toys, and they will leave. And then we won't have goods, services, products, or the tax revenue. You have to wake up and understand that no matter how much it sucks, you have to be a grown-up when you're a grown-up. If you want to be a kid, that's great. Be a kid, dude. I got no problem with you being PewDiePie, for God's sake. Play video games for a living and act like a jackass. If that's what you can do and make money to eat on, great. But don't tell the rest of the country that they have to bend to some kind of political viewpoint that you have no idea about and is going to destroy the rest of us who aren't lucky enough to play video games on YouTube and get paid for it. If I could do that, if I had that particular skill, or if I could sit in front of, a YouTube camera, I know obviously whatever kind of camera you purchased and put it on YouTube, and play guitar and sing into it and make a living, I would do that. All day. Are you kidding me? And I would be a non-political monster. I would literally just be like, hey, what's going on with Woodstock this year? And I'm going to hit Woodstock tomorrow because it's so ridiculous. Don't call it Woodstock. You got more right calling 1999, was it 99 Woodstock that had Limp Bizkit? You got more right calling that shit festival of Woodstock than what they're doing right now with the capitalist. If I was a conspiracy theory maniac, I would tug down hard on my tinfoil hat and say that this is an Illuminati Woodstock. Miley Cyrus, for God's sake, she's literally the drunk girl at the party. Look at my bubbies! Oh my God, a Jay-Z song is on. Anyway, so that's great. And as for those people that are all about, hey, look at us naked. Hey, look at us messing with our friends. Look at our gay friends, our black friends. We're all great, except we all hate you. And we don't want you to have your decisions about your clothes or what you eat or what you do. We want the government to take over. We've got our millions, so we're free. And please understand, I want everyone on the planet to have gay friends, black friends, white friends. White guys can be friends. It's okay. They're not all Satan and they're all not trying to be whatever the bullshit stereotype of the week is. But the maddening horseshit rhetoric of the left right now is absolutely disgusting. And it's all for politics. I read a story, and of course, there's literally so much going on in the 24-hour news cycle that you can't even hold on to it. Finland named world's happiest country because their politicians aren't psychopaths. America, lowest ranking ever. This is why I'm pissed. Why the hell would the most prosperous country be the unhappiest? I'll tell you why. Because we have a political party that can't win on ideals. A political party that is working in collusion with the media. The media is feeding a narrative to the people, and I'm talking about every damn channel you look at. Every phone you own has some kind of news thrown at you from either Google or Apple. And they're telling everybody how god awful things are. They're telling everybody how god awful the president is. So 50% of the country is constantly being bombarded with what you think is right is wrong. You're a horrible sexist, rapist, racist flub, but it works. And that's why we're so fucking unhappy. The politicians and their little butt buddies in the media talking shit constantly, lying, making up fake news. And by the way, I believe it's Yang, the star of the weekend, who's going to give everybody $1,000, who also believes in controlling fake news. I don't believe for 1 second that would be a fair thing. Because we know, if you look at half of the political fact-checking websites, PolitiFact, I believe, they're owned. I mean, Snopes is owned by someone that's so left they hang out with George Soros, for God's sake. You can't believe a word that they say because they check things under their lens. They go, it's probably wrong. It's going to get some Pinocchios. It's going to get a false because, well, in my opinion, that's a stupid idea. So, I'm rambling at this point because I'm just so annoyed. I think that, and I hate to be so just pointed on this particular position, but we're going to have to make sure, and like I said, I don't care if you vote for a Republican next time. Do not vote for Democrats until they stop this shit with all of it. Trying to change the rules to win a game, trying to make up crap, work with the media to lie to you. Lie. That's the problem. They can't not lie. You would never buy a car from a car salesman who for some bizarre reason lied about a car that looked perfectly fine, would you? You wouldn't trust him. I don't care if that's the exact model you want. You just would feel like, I'm going to get down the road, hit a speed bump, this thing's going to break in half. And we've seen proof of their ideas on a constant daily basis failing. But if we don't follow them, then we're some kind of, racist or something. Or we're some kind of horrible Nazi or some other horse shit. So the lesson needs to be learned at this point in time. Vote Libertarian. Vote Green Party. Vote weird independent candidate. Vote ZZ Top, for God's sake. But don't vote for Democrats next time. Because even if it gets kind of close, if it's a 40-60 split, they will bitch and moan that somehow that got stolen from them, that someone got disenfranchised, that somehow the media attacked them, which is absolute horseshit when they use that as an excuse. So they need to be demolished. And like I said, they just have to be in the 30 or less percentile. I do believe that no matter what you do, 30% of the country is still going to vote for them. Some people actually believe in the horse shit they're selling. That's fine. If that's what you believe, if you believe in open borders, if you believe in late-term abortions, if you believe in socialism not being taken over by an evil dictator this time, cool. Vote for him. The only system that's going to work to ensure prosperity and growth for this country is capitalism. Yes, there are evil capitalists, but it doesn't matter. They're not going to hold you down. They're going to want everyone to make money because the more money you make, then they can sell you something. The more money that comes in. I've already shown or talked about, I'll probably try to get into it more in depth soon, that if you lower taxes on the people, like has happened in the last 2 years, the government makes more tax revenue. So, if we see that the people spend more money, the government makes more revenue to pay for things, which they never do because they're too busy mismanaging money. That's the nice way to put it. Then why would the government not want to use a system that helps them make more money? Unless it is simply to have power over you and take from you. At that point, it's not ignorant that you're doing it incorrectly, unless you're just really too stupid to read the facts. Kennedy did it, Reagan did it, Trump did it, every time it works. You lower the taxes on the people spend more money, the economy grows, and the government gets more tax revenue. If the government gets more tax revenue and it's spent correctly because we watch our politicians, and we have two sets of politicians with different views but are honest people, then they can keep an eye on each other and make sure they're not buying $15,000 toilets from their friend's company or wherever the frickin' money's going. I live in Atlanta, not the city of Atlanta. I live in Cobb County. It's on the outside of the city of Atlanta. Atlanta's in Fulton County. Fulton County is run mostly by Democrats. It has a higher tax rate on goods and services, and it has ridiculously higher property taxes on more expensive houses because they're in the city. I literally buy tires. I can't even tell you how many times. I have a little Prius. It has little tires and little hubcap rings. I buy the rings in bulk because I hit potholes constantly. We have sinkholes. That's an infrastructure problem. We have all kinds of, different problems with the water system collapsing, and until it breaks, they don't try to fix it. The crime is higher in Fulton County. The taxes are higher. The infrastructure is crappier. Giving politicians more money when they're not honest does you no good. To keep them honest, we should have a two-party system at least, so that even if they have different ideas about what works, they can basically narc on each other. But right now, the political elite washes each other's ass, and we're the ones getting screwed. So right now, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to leave it with that. The Democrats need to shape up or ship out. Thank you for listening to me rant. I'll talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. There's a bunch of other things about freedom that's being infringed on a daily basis, and it's ridiculous. Thanks for listening.